Hey guys, Jason Timothy, musicsoftwaretraining.com, back with another video. And today we're going to get into the Shaper tool, which has just been brought to the forefront in the audio effects. Previously, it was kind of tucked away in the Max for Live instruments. So a lot of people think this is a new tool, but it's been around at least since the beginning of 11, perhaps back to 10. I haven't checked. But it's a great tool, and we're going to play with it today a little bit. And I've got a couple creative ideas that I think might make this even a little bit more fun. But let me take you through the basics. Let's drag it in here. And what I've got here is just a simple drone that I've created. So I'll go ahead and just play that. Let's just solo it real quick. All right, cool. So the way I created this, really simple. We just got a chord here happening that I created. So just a 8-bar loop going on here. And then if we get into the wavetable, just drag this in as is, started off as basic shapes. And then I just brought the shape up about 36% because this here changes the waveform over time. So a few more harmonics are happening here. And then I just added that to the matrix here on an LFO, right? And so what this does is just slightly moves this waveform up and down to give a little bit more interest. So on the LFO, as you can see, it's just a regular sine wave here. And we have a rate of 0.04 hertz, really slow for the most part. And got another LFO here that's also a little bit faster. And this is being mapped to the frequency. So as you can see, just a small percentage here and a small percentage there. So we've got the waveform kind of moving a little bit and the filter frequency moving a little bit. And we're going to play with that filter frequency with this shaper to kind of create some patterns here. So I've just got like a basic drum part in the background, real subtle, just to give a little bit of context to what's happening. I can turn it up just a little bit. All right, cool. So let's get into the basics of Shaper. Shaper basically is a tool that gives you the ability to map to any parameter on any synth or any effect that you would like, and then it will move whatever knob to the algorithm of this shaper, okay? So in this case right now, we've got this kind of starting up high and then going down low. So if I put it on this frequency here, let's just map it. We're going to have this sort of thing happening. And right now we've got it set to the rate of a quarter note, and it's kind of going full blast. If I want to back that off a little bit, I just back off the depth, or I could back this up. And as you can see, now it's not going all the way up. Now if I want it to start not all the way low, I can turn this part up, and as you can see, it doesn't end all the way at the bottom here. If I bring it way up, you can really see how now we're just getting this movement here. So this allows you to control the depth of the movement that's going on, which is great. Also, if you come over here to these lines, you can map multiple things here. So you can map several things at the same time. We're just going to map the filter frequency. So let's go ahead and hear what that sounds like. Now we could come and we can change the rate. could change the shape. And there's several shapes down here that we can start with. So we can really give some rhythm to, just a drone or a pad, kind of make it into more like stab sort of sounds. So where the real fun comes in is when you start designing your own shapes, which is really easy to do. So you can kind of start with, whatever you want. Let's just, we can start with this. And we've got this grid down here. So this gives us the ability to snap to like 16th note or however many points on the grid that we want. And then we can snap to that, or we could turn the snap off and play in between. Let's just start with, we'll start with 8. And then all you got to do is you can just click to make a new elbow, right? And you can move that right on the snap. And I can move this one direction or another. If we turn the snap off, then we get movement in between, and we can play with that in a little bit. So let's create like an interesting shape here and see what we can do. So I'm going to just start this. I'll turn the snap off and we'll kind of play with it. And if you want to undo an elbow, you can just hit the shift key and click on it, all right, so say that's kind of what we want to play with here. Let's just back this off a little bit. And in between, we can create more exponential sort of bends. So here, and I'm just hitting the Alt key and dragging. Now, if we want to add some jitter to this, it'll kind of add kind of more like a scribbly rhythm, where this is kind of the basic, but it's kind of scribbling in between a little bit. And then smooth. Kind of smooths out those lines, which actually is a pretty cool effect. So we can play with that there. Let's go ahead and map the resonance as well, but we're not going to have it full force. Let's just, we'll back this off to about 65%. And I'm going to start this off at about 30. Maybe a little bit more. Cool. So now we've got the shape going on here. What I think is a really cool way to use this is by kind of moving these around in real time while you're recording. And this way you get some really interesting patterns, and then you could cut out the bits that you like. So let's just do this. What I'm going to do is we'll just make this, let's just go 32 bars and we'll just stretch these out. And then I'm going to just create a new audio track. So, and then what I can do here is I can just come in from this wavetable. And then I can arm this track. And then I can record while I play with this shaper, kind of just play with the movement, the jitter, the smooth, the depth, and see what comes out of it. So let's just go ahead and hit record. Like so. So now we've recorded all of this stuff here, and I can just take this and drag it out like so. And then if I pull this back, I've captured everything that I've done here. So now I can just take this and figure out what parts I like. And I think that's a really clever way to put the shaper to use, because now you get some in-between sort of movement that you wouldn't have really thought of, you know, instead of having just a very static thing. Because you could always take, you know, a part that's static and just repeat that over and over. but all this in-between movement can really give a lot of dynamics to your parts. So it sounds like it's kind of evolving all the time, which can be a really cool thing to add interest to your song. So that's really all I wanted to share in this video as I'm kind of exploring it myself. Let me know what you're doing with Shaper, or if you've used it yet. Drop in the comments if you found any interesting uses for it. But yeah, this is what I've kind of explored so far, and I hope this kind of inspires you to experiment yourself and see what comes out of it.